You know, a lot of people have been wondering, how have the Los Angeles Lakers kept Deandre Ayton so motivated? And what I heard is that they told him he can get another crappy tattoo if he gets a double-double every game. Psychos and sickos unite for a dominating edition of our PHNX Suns pregame show. Of course, presented by Gila River Resorts and Casinos. You do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Visit playedgila.com for more details. I'm Eric. That's Steven, Espo, Gail, and the Freckle Mama behind the Mac, making all of the magic happen, but none of the magic can happen without all of you filing in on a Monday night for a Suns-Lakers pregame show. Thank you all so much. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button as well as the Suns look to snap a 2-game skid. How are we feeling after a very restful one day off for the Phoenix Suns and the crew?
Recharged?
Recharged.
Maybe like my battery's back at like 85%. So I'm charged enough.
Because the Panthers won.
That is true. That is true.
Older.
You feel older? Oh,
yeah.
happy late birthday.
I'm inching towards my mid-40s now, so yeah.
Happy birthday
Day to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Espo. Happy birthday to you.
And my gift is a game on Peacock. Woo!
Oh, your gift was a day off from this crazy schedule.
Yeah,
Been playing.
Yeah. They're right back at it, though. I mean, at least this week isn't as crazy. Tonight and Friday, and then there's not much else. But next week, they crank it right back.
Yeah, like the NBA schedule makers went, here, damn, some time off. Take it. Multiple days off in between games. But obviously, before we get to our 3 p.m. shows and everything in between Monday and then Friday's game against the Houston Rockets, yet again, we've got tonight. Let's go ahead and start off with our injury report presented by the Husband and Wife Law Team. If you've been injured, call the friends over the Husband and Wife Law Team first at 602-783-8841 or visit their website at husbandwifelawteam.com. Good news. Ryan Dunn available after missing 5 straight games with a right wrist sprain. Isaiah Livers out. Jalen Green out. And Grayson Allen, a last-minute addition to the injury report today, out with an illness for the second time this season. On the Lakers side of things, Marcus Smart out. Let's start with the negative first. Grayson Allen would have been a great game to get his rhythm back, Steven, but he misses out with an illness. How much more difficult does that make tonight for the Suns?
I mean, it makes it a lot more difficult for a game that's going to be a high-scoring one if you're going to beat this Lakers team. No matter how good your defense is, you need to be able to put the ball in the basket in a multitude of ways. The Suns' offense is at its best when Grayson is on the floor. When he's not, they struggle to find ways to make up for his loss, especially without the facilities of Jalen Green. So somebody's got to step up, whether that's Royce, whether that's Colin, whether that's Ryan Dunn in his first game back, who we haven't gotten to yet. Somebody's got to help to fill some of that void that's going to be left with Grayson not being around.
Yeah, tonight's not the night to not have all your horses playing against a team. It's 1-8 in a row. They've got their guys back, as you saw with that injury report. This is going to be one hell of a test tonight, and you really could have used Grayson's sharpshooting.
They're averaging 119 and some change at home. It makes no sense.
A lot of points, a lot of buckets. And I was going to say, like, I won't say it sums up the season so far, but I guess it does sum up the season so far. Like, right when we're about to get excited, we're like closer and closer to the full complement of players, and then we find this out pretty shortly, or like not that long before the game is set to start. Obviously, get well soon. Grayson knows it's an illness. Hopefully, it's something he gets over pretty quickly. But it's just like you think you're almost there. You think you only have 1 or 2 players left so you get back to full strength, and then you're down with a key guy who just got back in the lineup earlier in the week.
I blame his kid. Kids are germs factories, so that's where I'm going to put it.
Fair.
It's fair. But the story of the season has also been, Gil, that this team continues to fight, win against all odds. And the good news of that injury report is that Ryan Dunn is back. So you lose some shooting, but you gain some much-needed defense against some of the stars that we've been talking about in LA.
Yeah, absolutely. And we talked about the Lakers being red hot, and I'm curious what you guys think. How much do we really take of that win streak they're on? Pelicans twice, Mavericks, whatever. And I say that to say they haven't really seen anything like this Suns team. We've talked about how the Suns scrap, they claw. They're annoying to deal with. So I think that they're in for a test, especially on the second end of a back-to-back. I know LeBron didn't play last night, and he's back tonight. But that's why I think that the Lakers are probably in for, not necessarily a surprise, but that conversation we had about the Suns taking people off guard, I think could happen again tonight.
Yeah, I mean, they did lose to Portland earlier in the year. Obviously, LeBron wasn't there, but that's a similar kind of team defensively to the Suns that really kind of pesters you. You do look at the Lakers' schedule, and I think you could say some of it has been similar to what the Suns were getting criticized for earlier in the year with their hot start. So I don't want to overlook. You can never look past an 8-game win streak and just kind of brush it off. But I do think that the Suns will bring something that the Lakers haven't faced in a while.
Definitely. To quote the Lakers head coach when he was a player, in fact, playing for the other team in LA, he said a winning streak doesn't start until you win 4. So they've doubled that up. That's a win streak and then some. You can say what you want about the level of competition. You still got to go handle your business.
Yeah.
And they've been playing very well. I feel like the ways that they've played are very repeatable for them. Mm-hmm. And I think the Suns will have their work cut out for them tonight, but I don't think the Lakers have seen a defense the level that the Suns can get to when they're at their best. And I think that makes for one of those styles make fights type of scenarios where you got a team that's super scrappy and active on defense versus a team with all of the scoring and top-end talent you could ask for on the offensive end. So, check ball.
Yeah. Craig brings up an interesting point, too, about how this is going to be a kind of revenge game for Mark Williams playing against a Lakers team that essentially said, we don't want you.
Well, I think that center spot is kind of the wild card here. Look, Deandre Ayton has been on a roll with LA as of late. If you look at his season averages, it's the Deandre Ayton special, like 16 and 8, right? But overall, these last couple of games in the win streak, he's been aggressive. He's been taking middies. He's been going to the paint. Now, a lot of that has to do with the fact that he's playing off of a Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves or LeBron James passing him the ball a majority of the time. But you also have to give him some credit for embracing his new role here and starting to thrive in it. How do we see that DeAndre Ayton versus Mark Williams matchup breaking down in the middle?
It's interesting. It's crazy. I looked and wanted to see how they've gone against each other in the past. And, it's just the second time they've played against each other. Obviously, it's just year 4. They were in different conferences in the past couple of years. But it's wild to me that they've only played twice. And I just so happened to be at that game. It was KD's first game with the Suns. But I digress. I look at that, and one thing that stood out, though, was rookie Mark Williams. He had 5 offensive boards against DeAndre Ayton back then. And I think that they're both motivated for different reasons in this game. And I think that Mark Williams will see that effort and that energy that he's done running the floor. I think he's going to try to outwork DeAndre Ayton. Easier said than done, especially if it's motivated. Maybe we go motivating instead of dominating today. But
it's like a test of that.
Yeah. So, but we'll see how that goes. I think it'll be an interesting battle between both of those guys.
I don't think that it's going to be that hard to outwork DeAndre Ayton. I don't care if he's motivated because it's the Phoenix Suns. We've seen what Mark Williams does, and it is night and day compared to what we saw DeAndre Ayton do here. And I think if Mark sticks it to him a few times, this could easily go in Mark's favor tonight. And I want to see him, boxing out, hitting that glass hard and going right at DeAndre Ayton tonight.
I think the only thing that would get in the way of Mark thoroughly outperforming him, he'll out-effort DeAndre Ayton, I imagine, but in terms of production, it's the fact that the top-end pieces, and I mean plural, times 3 now with LeBron returning.
Yes.
The tension that comes with those guys and how you have to take something away from them on that end, should have some gimmies that get them to 15 a night on like 70% from the field without breaking a sweat, quite honestly, and then just playing just a smidge of defense.
Oh, yeah. I mean, DA's counting stats will look better.
Yes.
I think the eye test will be in Mark Williams' favor.
Sure.
Well, and Steven, you had brought up on socials over the weekend that the Suns have some of the best offensive rebounders at each position. Obviously, Mark Williams among that. Is it just a battle of the boards tonight to try to get the Lakers to not get as many possessions and to give you a couple more chances without that top-end talent?
That's part of it. The first part is making them miss, though. That part is not easy, man. That team is good. They got – we just saw one of the homies on Twitter over the weekend or last week talking about is this the best trio of passers that we've ever seen on a team? And now, obviously, some of that outdates me and my having watched guys play at the same time. I would have to go back and do my research, but I imagine this trio of passers is up there from the attention they get and the ways that they can counter it with just moving the ball. It's up there. That makes it tough to, like we talked about after the game against Oklahoma City, Gil, that difference between rotating on defense versus scrambling.
Yep.
And when you're behind schedule because of the attention you have to concede and their ability to counterpunch with the pass, makes it hard. So the Suns have to be on their P's and Q's about getting out the shooters first and then getting to the glass.
Who do you put Brooks on tonight to start?
I would put him on DeAndre Ayton.
Ooh,
I'll put him on DeAndre Ayton.
You got done on Luka?
Mm-hmm.
4 fouls already.
Hey, so be it. You gotta grow up.
No, I get it, but every time, and I hear you. I think in theory, having Ryan Dunn on Luka would be nice. Look, and it's not just the passing. Luka's leading the league in points per game by 3 points per game. He's averaging 35.1 points per game, also leading the team in assists at 9.2 and rebounds at 8.7. As for LeBron, the scoring side of things has not been the same as what we've known him as since he's returned. He's really leaned into his facilitator role. He's averaging 8.3 assists per game, and Austin Reeves averaging 28.8 points per game, 6.8 assists per game, 5.8 rebounds per game, and over a steal as well. It's honestly, when you look at the numbers, Steven, it's nuts.
So, I mean, the numbers are there now, but can you guess the margin that they're averaging as a tandem over the number 2 duo in the league?
So they're averaging
63.9
points. So think about the other top scorers in the league. Shea's not going to have a guy that goes up there.
I can give you that fill in that blank. Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic and Anthony Edwards and Julius Randle are the number 2 and 3.
I would guess they got at least a 8-9 point cushion.
Any more guesses?
I bet the next highest is at 51 points per game.
I'm
close.
15.
52.9.
Okay.
So it's 11. Yeah. It's ridiculous. I mean, it's ridiculous.
And think about trio, right? That's
you add LeBron to that.
It's just, I hate the Lakers is what I'm trying to say. It's not fair.
They suck. Well, look, at the end of the day, the Suns' defense is going to be obviously a point to focus on tonight, Gil, but we have been talking about this specific topic for what feels like entirely too long now, and that is the Phoenix Suns superstar himself in Devin Booker. Tonight feels like not that would be nice, but a necessity. In order to match what the Lakers' offensive output's going to be, you need Devin Booker to play like the second best player on the court tonight.
Yeah, he has to be. And you named a bunch of guys who are probably going to maybe be the second player. We know Luka Doncic is probably going to be the best player in this game, but thinking about Devin Booker historically, I feel like he has a little bit of extra going against Luka Doncic, but also when he's under those bright lights at Crypto, Staples, whatever you want to call it. So I expect this to be the night. I know we talked a lot about Grayson Allen having that success. Well, maybe Devin takes a little more of some of those shots and those attempts and have those opportunities. I know it's going to be a little bit more difficult, obviously, with one less guy, but if it's going to be a night, it's got to be tonight.
Yeah, I mean, he loves playing in the house that Kobe built.
Yeah.
It would not shock me if he had some Kobe PE book 2s tonight out there, but none of that is going to matter. He needs to go out there and lock in. And to your point, when he's going against Luka, it does seem like he takes a step. That back and forth between those guys have been so epic over the last handful of years. I hope we see it tonight. You need Devin Booker now more than ever to step up, because a 3-game losing streak, you talk about a winning streak not starting till 4. I think a losing streak starts at 3. You lose 2, okay. You get to 3, that's when it's a losing streak. You hit 4 or 5, that starts to be a slide.
Book's on the 5 versus Luka in the regular season all time, by the way, in case you were curious about that. So he just step it up.
I mean, but recently it has. Well, we got Devin Booker in the chat. Devin, we need you to step up tonight. Look, recently it's the way that both teams have been playing. It feels like, okay, you got to pencil in the Lakers for a win tonight. But Steven, when you look at your keys for how the Suns succeed, it does start with Devin Booker.
Indeed, it does. They need him to be. And you posed the question before we hopped on, he's got to be no less than the second best player on the court. And it's not just for his ability to score, but also leveraging the attention of his prowess as a scorer into opportunity for his teammates. But doing so without turning the ball over. you just don't have much margin for error without Jalen Green and Grayson Allen in tonight's game. You need to be salvaging your possessions and getting the most out of them that you can. If he can do that, which he's more than capable of on any given night, to Gil's point, especially in that particular arena, we could see some of the best version of him, and that's what they're going to need to get a win in tonight's game. Key number 2, attack in process against switches. So the Lakers have by far the highest switch rate in the entire NBA this season. You can't allow for your offense to bog down on flow trying to methodically go about attacking it. Somebody's got to go get a paint touch, and somebody's got to be making quick decisions off of that. And you got to get to your triggers with a certain type of cadence. And then the last one for me is the pick and roll defense / the point of attack activity. Obviously, they have 3 of the best playmakers in the league. They have 2 of the best passers in the history of the game. You have to be physical. You have to dictate to them. If they can just go and pick their litter or what they want to do on any given possession, you're going to always be playing catch up. You can't be in a situation where defensively you feel like you're chasing possessions time and time again.
Do the Suns win this game because the Lakers might be a little weaker at defense on paper? What have you seen from the Lakers defense this year? Obviously anchored by Deandre Ayton, but usually when you have top-end offensive talents like Reeves, like Doncic, and like LeBron, who all in their own right aren't top-tier defensively at either stages of their career, is that how the Suns pick it apart tonight?
I mean, it's just going to get a paint touch, man. I feel like if they're switching, like I talked about, the highest rate in the league, they're switching because they want to take you late into the shot clock, drag you into deep water. If you're able to swim well and you don't have to worry about those type of currents, then you can do what you need to do. The Suns they haven't had much problems going to get paint touches. It's getting all the way to the rim that's typically been their issue. They're dead last in terms of attempts at the rim this season. So go get a paint touch, get them in rotation off of that, and you live with the chances. But get those shots that you want in the process that you desire.
Yeah, but that's why not having Grayson tonight hurt so much,
100%.
because that's a guy that you know in a healthy situation is going to convert on those shots, where you're left with a lot of guys that you hope will convert on those shots. Royce has done pretty well this year, so is Colin. Dylan is kind of a pendulum, swings back and forth depending on the night with that. You're going to have to hit those open shots tonight, just like you had to against OKC to be in that game. You have to, when you get good looks, you got to make them tonight.
Gil, want to play a game?
Let's play it.
It's called Guess the Suns Starting 5. So, Grayson Allen out, Ryan Dunn in. Who starts for the Phoenix Suns tonight?
Oh, I think we're going, is Brooks sliding down, Brooks, Ryan Dunn back in the starting lineup?
So you got Brooks.
Ryan Dunn's back in the starting lineup?
Wrong.
Royce? No.
Colin
Gillespie.
Gillespie's in the starting lineup.
Royce O'Neal, and Mark Williams.
Okay.
So Ryan Dunn back, Ryan Dunn not starting.
Okay.
Suns, I think, are going to lean a little bit more on that offensive approach. Obviously, Colin can bring it on the defensive end, Gil, but what we've seen is that those two guys playing off of each other create their own offensive dynamic that the Suns were looking for, and having another creator like Jalen Green, obviously, still out for tonight's game.
Yeah, and I think we talked about it again, like alleviating that pressure on Devin Booker. We know how important it is for him to get out to a good start. We saw that last week in one of the games, saw it against Sacramento. He had a big start in that game. So playing next to Colin Gillespie, freeing him up a little bit, maybe playing a little more off the ball. He's talked about that a lot, getting some more looks off the ball and finding that rhythm off the ball. The earlier, the better. So obviously that starting lineup does make sense in that sense, and also leaning into the offense rather than the defense.
Yeah. I don't know if leaning into the offense, and now it's great for the bet I'm going to show later, but I'm not sure if leaning into the offense is the way to beat this team, because they have as much offense as anybody, right? Trying to slow them down to start, I feel like might have been the better way, because you're giving up size now by going with Colin rather than going slightly bigger with Ryan Dunn. Maybe you're trying to stagger your defensive guys. I don't know, but I understand why you want Colin out there to try to get Book going, but I also am a believer in, if you're going to lean on your defense as heavily as you usually do, you might as well lean into your defense against a team like this.
Yeah, and the one thing I would think about, we talked about who would get that Doncic assignment to start, and I don't know who it is. Obviously, it's not going to be Ryan Dunn, so he's not in the starting lineup. But one thing that I have noticed in the past is that, I mean, Luka Doncic is going to score whenever he scores,
Mm-hmm.
but he has the most issues with stronger, bulkier defenders. Like, he made light work of Jaden McDaniels throughout the playoffs, but when you see him go against Lou Dort, even though he gets up a couple inches, so maybe it is a Dillon Brooks. You talk about how strong Dillon Brooks is physically, how he's not afraid to get under your skin. Maybe that's why they knew that was going to be the case altogether, and there's going to be some switching, obviously, but to make Luka uncomfortable, maybe that's what works. Makes
Royce
sense.
on LeBron.
Yeah. I mean, I don't hate that.
Yeah, I think, Steven, what they might be wanting is, okay, let's free Devin Booker up as much as possible to get him in his groove, because we know that, look, one of the three on the Lakers is going to get into a groove off the bat. Realistically, you're not going to shut down all three to start the game, right? So whether it's Luka, it's Reeves, or LeBron, somebody's going to get going if the other two aren't. Let's get Devin Booker the best situation to get going offensively. Then we sub Colin out, get Ryan Dunn in. That's a change of pace defensively, energy, maybe throw whoever's kind of on a roll, put Dunn on them and give them a different look. And now we have Gillespie to bring in whenever we take Devin Booker off the court next. That way we keep our creation.
Yeah, I could see that going going that route for them and kind of playing into their thinking for it. But I think to Espo's point, they're trying to give, and to your point too, Eric, just give him more space, Devin, on the offensive side, because of the ways that the Lakers have shown to want to defend this season. And when they've been at their best, they've been able to, again, just drag teams into deep water. So if you can play with spacing and they can't load the gaps comfortably at least, take some of those options off the board for them, it's a dice roll at this point, especially when you're operating without 2/5 of your team starting lineup right now.
Yeah, and these are just the numbers for the Lakers offense so far this season before we get into Suns must win and our predictions and our bets. Fourth in offensive rating at 120.9. First in the half court, an offensive rating at 105.8. They're second in free throws made and attempted. Surprise, surprise. And then third in PFD. What's PFD?
Personal fouls drawn.
Personal, of course. Sorry, I should have known it was top three for the Lakers.
You mean
it's obviously
refs
foul
helping
stuff.
you out. That's what.
And then second in true shooting percentage at 62.6%.
This is why leaning more into your offense to start doesn't make sense to me. Leaning into defense and trying to slow them down or muck it up a little bit to start, it would make a little bit more sense to me, because they're going to have their big boys out to start the game. If they get out to a fast start, you're now digging out of a hole against a team that's that good offensively.
Unless you're being cynical and thinking they're going to blow the whistle regardless, and now you got all your best defenders in foul trouble.
Fair enough.
True.
Look,
but then you'll have all your best offensive players in foul trouble, so you're screwed either way.
You know what those numbers tell me? The Mavs should fire Nico Harrison twice. Okay, we all know that we want the Suns to win tonight, but where does it rank on the Suns must-win meter? It's a high one, an 8.2 average across the board. Steven with a 6.5. Espo with a 10. I believe it might have been an 11.
Yeah, what's this crap? I said crank it up to 11 and I only get a 10? I see how it is.
He said he was breaking his meter. That's what he's doing.
We got Gil at a low 6. I'm at a 9.9. Ayrton at an 8.5. Espo, why are you trying to break the meter tonight?
Well, A, I don't want a losing streak, which is 3. B, I don't want to lose to Deandre Ayton. C, I don't want to lose to Luka Doncic. And D, I don't like LeBron all that much. Oh, and 5, it's the freaking Lakers. Yeah. So, it's an 11.
AB3D5 is where he just...
Exactly.
I like that.
That's how flustered I am about LA and the fact that this is only on Peacock tonight.
So, Gil, why so low?
I'm surprised at that. I thought it was going to be... I just feel like it's a tough spot. Obviously, we've talked about the schedule to no end, so I'm not going to get into that, but it just kind of feels like a reset spot. Win or lose here, you got 3 days to kind of recharge and get back. And then this was even before finding out that Grayson Allen wasn't playing. So I do think it'd be a nice-to-have win, but this isn't one of those kick yourself if you don't get it.
Spend a couple more months here. Every Lakers game will be a 9+ for you.
Yeah, I guess it means I'm new here. That's what a 6 means.
Look, obviously,
I still ain't adjusted then, if that's the case.
Look, obviously, Bet365, they don't put money on the Suns must-win meter, but they do set the line. Let's go ahead and take a look at the line for tonight's matchup against the Lakers. The Lakers are a -5 on the spread, where the Suns are a +5 on the spread. For the money line for the Lakers, it's at a -210, and for the Suns, it's at a +175. So not a crazy big line for a team that's on a hot win streak at home, for a Suns team that is still missing a good amount of their top-end talent.
It didn't shift at all with Grayson out. That strikes me as odd, because I would think that would have ballooned to 6, maybe 7, at that point. But no, I didn't even do that on
God.
purpose. 8 or 9. Is that better?
Well, look, we know one thing is ballooned, and that's
now.
somebody's money in our Bet365 pre-game picks. Gil at a 199.50 on a one-game losing streak, though.
Yeah.
Ayrton also on a one-game losing streak at a plus 62. I'm at a negative 27.75, and that's at a minus 140. But of course,
I
that
love how
means
you use that to try to make yourself feel better.
it
about
does.
being
You
in
know
the
what?
negative.
It does make me feel better, and that's all that matters. But you know what? It is time to get into our pregame picks, of course, presented by Bet365. Sign up, use code PHNX365, deposit 10, place a bet for 5, get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins or loses. Bonus bets can be used on the spreads, totals, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. You must be 21 plus and physically located in Arizona. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP, text NEXT STEP to 52342, or visit promgambling.az.gov. Let's go ahead and start with the greatest better alive. Gil, how are you winning money tonight?
We gave him that $200 as a welcome
Yeah,
gift.
sure. Yeah, that's all.
It's
Yeah.
Bet365, very generous.
Yeah, I'll go through it pretty quickly. I just went, look, if not now, then win for Devin Booker, 25 plus points for him. Deandre Ayton, motivated, over 22.5 points and rebounds. Mark Williams is going to work, over 8.5 rebounds, and then Colin Gillespie stepping in for Grayson Allen, going to get some of those opportunities that Grayson would have gotten. 2+ 3-pointers made. That's plus 50 with the 30+% boost. So hopefully we're back in the green today.
Back in the green, dude. You never left the green.
You're right.
Tonight is the night that you become a true member of the Suns community when Deandre Ayton disappoints.
Lets me down. There you go.
Ayrton in second place. What are you going with?
Got something a little nice cooked up today. Devin Booker over 20.5 points. Devin Booker 7+ assists. Mark Williams over 21.5 points and rebounds. Dylan Brooks over 24.5 PRA. Colin Gillespie 10+ points at plus 875, of course, with the 30% profit boost.
Look, as you guys know, you're never going to miss any bets ever again. You guys are perfect. All of your bets are going to hit. Mine, on the other hand, I feel dirty. I'm betting on the Lakers. I'm taking Deandre in first basket and Luka Doncic first assist, parlayed together at a plus 1,900. Now, the reason why I'm doing this is because I think the Lakers will be looking to get DA the ball early, and I think Luka is most likely to pass it for him. I think Ayton has a hot start and then fizzles out afterwards, so that's what I'm taking for my bet.
I thought you were trying to go for the reverse jinx. I went out in the desert. I got my Winnebago, and I was cooking, right?
Ooh.
But then Grayson got sick, and so I had to go, and I didn't have time to get in the Winnebago, so I threw this bad boy together. Colin Gillespie, 15+ points. Colin Gillespie, 10+ assists. Colin Gillespie, 7+ rebounds, plus 4,500 with that 30% profit boost, because why the hell not?
I love it. He's going to hit all
Crash
that.
the glass tonight.
Get 6 rebounds.
Crash the glass.
Well, look, Aspo going for Booker 10,000 points. And he said, why am I kind of close?
I tried, but I decided, nah, all right.
Well, look, that's what we're betting on. But what do we think happens? Our score predictions for tonight's game. Suns, Lakers were split. Espo and I, fueled by pure hate, going with Suns victories. Espo 118-116. I'm going 117-113. Gil and Steven going with the Lakers, 121-116 for Steven. 120-112 for Gil. How confident are you feeling, Steven, in your prediction?
Well, I hope I'm wrong.
Me too.
I genuinely do. But I think I submitted this well before we heard the Grayson Allen news. That 116 is going to be that much harder to get to when you factor in him just not being in the lineup. So who's going to step up? There's a lot of opportunity. Jamari Bouye knocked down 4 threes, something like that. I don't think it's out the realm of possibility. The opportunity will certainly be there. Ryan Dunn, maybe he hits a hot streak in his first game back in about a week and a half. Somebody's got to step up to get to that 116.
Yeah, I too hope
Sorry,
I'm wrong.
Charles.
I too hope I'm wrong. I do think that we kind of talked about that win streak. I think this is a potential letdown spot for the Lakers. But if the Suns were to win tonight, I don't think it would be close. I think it'd be like a 9 or 11 point win for them, because Lakers tend to do that sometimes.
So I got one host that's betting on the Lakers to do things
To hit
early.
a first basket and a first
The two
assist.
of you picking the Lakers, and I don't have a barf bag around here. I mean,
Maybe we're all just trying to put the jinx in.
I hope so, because that just makes me sick.
B says Suns by alignment. Aiden says Suns by 14. Lenny
Listen,
says
the Suns win by 14. We're going to have some fun on tomorrow's show.
Have some fun on tonight's show first. Some fun on a lot of shows.
Taking the post game off if they win?
Oh, yeah, because we're
Going streaking in the streets. Steven will be so thrilled that they beat the Lakers. Look, Russell saying Suns by 9. Bear says Lakers going to choke. Elko says Suns in a blowout. Phoenix Rising says 121 to 127. I'm going to assume that you're picking for the Suns. Ayton says Suns by 14 with satire, guys. I'm sorry. No! Believe, Ayton. Believe. And either way, we'll be here for our post-game show. Win or loss, follow the show in the meantime at PHNX_Suns for live updates during the games. And, of course, breaking news updates with injuries and everything in between. That's on Twitter and on Instagram. Shout out to Freckled Mamba behind the Mac, making all of the magic happen. You can follow him at Freckled Mamba. You can follow Steven at StevenPG3. You can follow Espo at Espo. You can follow Gil at GilMcGregor_. You can follow me at ERIKRUBY. And all together now, 3 hearty chants of beat LA. And we're going to end on the same note, unlike the MVP chants, okay? 1, 2, 3. Beat LA! Beat LA! Beat LA!
Beat LA!
There we go.
We all silly like the mayor.